Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, today's episode comes to you courtesy of Carlos, who's been supported this channel as a Golden Pig tier patron, and I truly couldn't do this without support from amazing patrons like Carlos. So again, Carlos, thank you so much. And for the personalized deck tech, Carlos chose Frodo, Sauron's Bane, taking advantage of, well, the ring tempting you and getting some unblockable creatures through for some sneaky, cheeky hits. And, yeah, we're going to want to get Frodo through. Frodo is a 1/2 halfling citizen for a single white mana. Orzhov. If Frodo is a citizen, it becomes a halfling scout with base power, toughness 2/3, and lifelink. On top of that, pay black. If Frodo is a scout, it becomes a halfling rogue with, whenever this creature goes common to a player, that player loses the game, but the ring has tempted you 4 more times this game. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. So, yeah, a game-ending commander that costs a single mana to get into play. Now, okay, a little more mana to actually get that going and a little bit of setup, but still, the potential of this commander is fantastic. And yes, tempting the ring can help us, well, get this through. We also have other ways to get this commander through and ways to make sure that we can get that ring tempted very, very quickly so that we actually can take our opponents out in absolutely no time at all. Yeah, some really cheeky victories with this one. Yeah, this deck, though, including the commander, is all less than $1. Every single card in it is less than $1, so the entire cost of the deck, according to Moxfield, is $24.91. An incredibly budget-friendly deck. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't include the cost of basics or they include the cost of shipping, but still, overall, incredibly budget-friendly. If you are interested in this deck, make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. And, of course, with all that said, let's jump into the tactics. So let's start things off with attack number 1, and of course, first up, there's Wayfarer's Bauble. Pay 2 tap, sacrifice, go to basic land, into play, tap. Fantastic land ramp for any deck out there. Next up, a very flexible mana rock, Astral Cornucopia. XXX enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it, tap, choose a color, add 1 mana for each of those charge counters. So essentially, yeah, great mana fixing, great, flexibility with it as well. Next up, Arcane Signet, artifact for 2 mana, taps for 1 of our colors, efficient, effective, fantastic. Next up, Charcoal Diamond. Very efficient as well, just 2 mana. This one not as effective though. Enters battlefield, taps, so slightly slower, only taps for a black mana, but still very efficient mana rock. Then we've got Cold Steel Heart. This one very similar. Enters battlefield, tap, but we get to choose a color. Can tap for that color essentially. So if we need black or we need white, whatever we need, choose that. Next up, Felwar Stone. Can basically give us each of those colors most of the time. Depends on what our opponents have. Most of the time it's going to tap for our colors though. And even if it doesn't, that's okay. We've got plenty of other ways for us to actually, make sure that we've got the right mana. Speaking of which, Marble Diamond. Another efficient mana rock again, basically just like Charcoal Diamond. Same thing, enters tap, taps for a white though this time. Orzhov Signet, a great card for us. Can help us filter our mana, taps for our guilds, colors by paying 1 into it and tapping it. There's Prismatic Lens. This can also filter our mana too, or it can just tap for a single colorless mana, which is huge again. Just incredibly efficient mana rocks. We've got so many of them. So we also have Star Compass, 2 mana, enters battlefield, tap, can tap for whatever our basic lands can tap for essentially. So yeah, if we've got both of them in play, tap for each of those. Then we've got Talisman of Hierarchy. This one tap for a colorless, or it can tap for 1 or 2 colors and 1 damage to us. It's not a big deal at all. 1 damage is absolutely nothing in Commander, and yeah, well worth it when we need to actually fix our mana in that way. Then there's Coalition Relic. This one is a little bit slower at 3 mana, but still very effective. We can tap for 1 mana of any color, or we can tap on a charge counter on it, and then basically next turn, remove that charge counter, tap for it. So essentially, this kind of can tap for 2 in a way. Then we've got Inherited Envelope. This is actually a mana rock that can actually help tempt us, which again, the more we can get tempted without having to utilize our commander for that, well, the more we are set up for Frodo to just take players out in 1 shot. So yeah, basically ETBs, the ring tempts you. Also can tap for 1 mana of any color. Also 3 mana though, we've got Skyclave Relic, a great one. Kicker 3, indestructible. Essentially, when we kick it, we get to make 2 copies of it. So again, indestructible mana rocks, what's not to love about that? At 4 mana, we've got Firemine Vessel, a great one as well. ETBs tap for 2 mana of different colors. This can be absolutely huge. Again, yeah, being able to actually ramp and actually fix our mana, that is massive. Speaking of which, finally, Guild Lotus at 5 mana, tap for 3 mana of any 1 color. So again, our commander has some pretty restrictive costs when it comes to actually utilizing that last activate ability. Again, black. This can just do it on its own. So it can be a fantastic way for us to ramp. Now let's move on to tactic number 2, the ring beckons, and beckons it does. We are going to use a lot of different effects to have the ring tempt us outside of just our commander's combat damage trigger. First up, Golden's Bite, single black mana, instant speed. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Also pay 3 and a black, exile from your graveyard. The ring tempts you, activate as a sorcery. So a way to take out a small creature, or just, shrink a creature temporarily for the time being. And also a way to say, yeah, we got the ring in waiting. Next up, Sam's Desperate Rescue. Sorcery for a single black mana. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. The ring tempts you. So another way to get something back that we might need that maybe can even tempt us further, like, Samwise the Stout-Hearted. A legendary creature halfling peasant, 2/1 with flash for just 2 mana. ETBs, choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. The ring tempts you. So it can tempt you even further and again get you something else back that you need. Next up, Slip on the Ring. Basically, blink a creature you control. Lovely way to protect something. Also on top of that, the ring tempts you. Or protect something or get an ETB again like, Sam's. Then we've got Took Reaper. When it dies, the ring tempts you. So again, another low to the ground creature that says, hey, sure you can attack me, but if you do, I'm gonna block with this. And all of a sudden the ring is just at another level. And I'm able to take you out quicker with Frodo. Next up, Claim the Precious. 3 mana, short target creature, the ring tempts you. So basically, murder, take out a creature, great. Also on top of that, the ring tempts me. What's not to love? Then we've got the Black Breath. Creature spawns control get -1/-1 until I'm turn. The ring tempts you. Take out tiny creatures. Yeah, if you're playing against a token army of 1/1s, goodbye token army. If not, slightly shrink them, which is lovely. Also on top of that, again, the ring tempting you is huge. Urkai Berserko, yet another creature that can help us out. A 3/2 for 3 mana. Enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. So again, yet another way to take advantage of that, with a blink effect or whatnot as well. Now for Wrath, now for Ruin. Sorcery for 4 mana, put a +1 counter on each creature you control that gain Vigilance on turn. The ring tempts you. Yet another way to say, our army can get slightly bigger. We can hit slightly harder. And on top of that, swing, while keeping them back as well. And then the ring tempting us, yes. Then there's Stalwarts of Osgiliath, a 4/3 human soldier for 5 mana in total. Enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. So again, ways to get that back, ways to use and abuse that. Lovely. On top of that, whenever you draw your second card each turn, you get a counter on this. Sure, this can become a bigger, threat throughout the game. But again, more importantly, the ring tempting you is the big thing there. Now let's move on to tactic number 3, though, with Sneak By, because we need ways to get our creatures through, especially our commander, when we have that finishing blow with it. Cliff Haven Kite Sail enters the battlefield attached to our creature you control. Enchant creature is flying. So yeah, hey, equipped creature's got flying. Frodo's gonna be flying through at our opponents with this. Usually that's enough to get it through on at least one of our opponents. Next up, though, we got Hot Soup. Can't be blocked. And shit, equipped creature can't be blocked at all just because they're carrying on this Hot Soup. On top of that, whatever creature is dealt damage, destroy it. That's not the best thing. We do have ways to protect our creatures instead of that, happening, but that's okay if not. Being able to risk it to get our commander through for that finishing blow can be huge. Then there's Skeleton Key. Equipped creature has Skulk, so again, it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, which is huge. Again, Frodo, very few power, just 2 power. Not deadly at all, right? But incredibly deadly. Whenever a creature deals combat to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So again, some great looting effect with that as well. Zephyr Boots, very similar. Equipped creature is flying, so another way to get it through. Whenever creature deals combat to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. So again, another way to dig down into our deck. Then there's Prowler's Helm. This one doesn't help us dig at all, but it can help us get through basically in any situation. Creature can't be blocked except by walls. Chances are incredibly unlikely unless you're playing against your opponent's a crazy strategist deck that they have no walls in their deck. So you're going to get through on anyone with this. Finally, Wings of Hubris. This one is a high risk, high reward play. Equipped creature has flying, no risk there at all, can get through on most players with that. But if you really need to get through, sacrifice this. Equipped creature can't be blocked this turn. Sacrifice to begin the next end step. So again, high risk, high reward. If you're on your last opponent though, and Frodo is just basically Phage the Untouchable, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll sacrifice this, get through, you're gone. Now let's move on to tactic number 4 quickly now, because we've got more ways to get our commander through and more ways to, well, just swing right away with it. Again, surprise KOs can be quite fun with this kind of a commander once we're set up properly. Equipped creature is flying in haste for 2 mana on that equipped cost of Cloak of the Bat. Swing right away at your opponent, and again, with most opponents, they're not going to have a flyer, so get through on them. Fleet Feather Sandals literally does the exact same thing. It's the exact same card. Swing right away, get through on opponents too. Ring of Valkis, another great one. Equipped creature has haste. This also gives counters to red creatures. We don't care about that. Just a very low equip cost again of just 1. So again, swing right away with your commander. That is huge. Again, a spicy way to just take someone out and be like, oh yeah, okay, I rather all this ramp. I already got tempted 4 times out of the ring. Cool. I'll get my commander out. Swing right away. Take you out. Goodbye. Swiftfoot Boots, another great one, of course. Hexproof and haste, so swing right away again, of course, and protect your commander, which can be huge with that. Finally, Haunted Cloak again. Just 1 mana to equip. Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, all great things, especially that haste again, allowing our commander to get through and just swing and just take our opponents out of nowhere. Now, as good as all these cards are, there is one, in my opinion, that stands above the rest, and that is a golden pig of this deck. Of course, the number one card ever 99 is Duelist Heritage. An amazing card. Enchantment for 3 mana in total. Whenever one or more creatures attack, you may have target attacking creature gain double strike until end of turn. So first of all, this is an incredible political card. Your opponents are like, okay, I'm going to swing at you. And you're like, well, don't swing at me. Hey, you swing at that other player over there with that creature, I'll give it a double strike to make it doubly as effective to hit that player. So that's a great political tool for you. On top of that, again, Frodo can help you get tempted by the ring before you have, that full ring temptation. So essentially say, let's double that up. Again, it's a combat damage trigger on a player. So now your commander is going to hit them twice, get tempted by the ring twice as fast to take those opponents out. So yeah, an incredible card for this deck. Definitely worthy of the title of Golden Pig. But now let's move on to tactic number 6, Hit Hard, because we've got even more ways to get even more double strikes. So yeah, let's talk about Paladin class, a great one, a single mana for an enchantment class. Spells your opponent's cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast, so a nice way to just throw a wrench your opponent's lands on our turn. On top of that, level 2, creature control at +1/+1, but most importantly, level 3, whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creature gets ++1 for each other creature, gains double strike. So this actually can turn our commander into just a sledgehammer that just destroys our opponents. And also, again, the double strike can just make it so it doesn't matter what our commander's power really is. It just takes out our opponents in one shot anyways. I mean, I guess 1 and 2 shots sometimes. There you go. Next up, Fire Shrieker. Quick creature's double strike. Very simple, very effective. Again, our commander, that combat damage trigger is huge on opponents. Get through, get that ring tempted, and all of a sudden, you get to be able to take opponents out in no time. So we also have Brass Knuckles. Very similar. This one costs 4. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it. Quick creature's double strike as long as you have 2 or more equipment attached to it. So we've got plenty of other equipment, or just attach both of these Brass Knuckles to, your commander and give it double strike. Yeah, another great way to say, yeah, let's just get some damage through and just, get that ring temptation continuing. But now let's move on to tactic number 7, Blown Away, because, yeah, we can just clear a path for our commander as well with cards like Path to Exile. Exile a creature. Sure, you get a basic land, but still for 1 mana, we get rid of anything, any creature on the board permanently and just say goodbye. And yeah, another way to get our commander through. Next up, we got D-Spark. Get rid of any big thing. Exile target permanent mana value 4 or greater. This is a fantastic card in many situations. Then we got Generous Gift. Destroy any permanent. Give them a 3/3. Sure, here you get a 3/3, but we'll get rid of anything on the board. Then there's Oblation. This one is a great card, very flexible. The owner target non-land permanent shovels into the library, then draws 2 cards. So yeah, we can get rid of one of our opponent's things. We give them 2 cards, but that really doesn't matter if that was their only blocker. And all of a sudden, Frodo's coming through, and Frodo is in, well, Phage the Untouchable mode essentially. Also, yeah, there's gonna be desperation times where we need to get rid of something. Sure, we'll give 2 cards for that, or we can get rid of one of our own things if we need to actually draw some cards. There's some flexibility there. Moving on, the Battle of Bywater. Destroy all creatures power 3 or greater, and create a food token for each creature you control. Yeah, a way to say, hey, we got tiny creatures, including our commander. Let's destroy everything else essentially. All those big creatures are now gone. Another way to say, let's get our commander through. Then there's Crush Contraband. Get rid of 2 things. Exile, Artifact, and Enchantment, essentially. Get rid of 2 things for 4 mana. That's lovely. Speaking of 4 mana, Phyrexian Scriptures. The first lore counter, get a counter 1 creature, comes in Artifact as well. The second lore counter is for all non-artifact creatures. So Artifact Frodo is fine. Everything else, probably not so much. The third one, Exile Opponent's Graveyards, can be a great way to just say, you had those creatures, they're gone. And obviously if you had Slough Mill deck, or if you had, a Reanimator deck, now you're really in trouble too. Then we've got Fell the Mighty, another great board wipe. Destroy all creatures' power greater than target creature's power. Again, it's going to be variable based on Frodo's power, and say, Frodo's fine, all the other things, not fine. Let's get Frodo through. Then we've got Slash the Ranks. Destroy all creatures and planeswalkers except for commanders. So again, everything goes away. Frodo is fine, and if our opponents didn't have a commander in play, they are gone. Or even a commander that could block Frodo, get a Frodo's flying or whatnot. Yeah, it's going to get through and take them out too. Then there's Dusk. Again, another way to destroy big creatures. Destroy creatures power 3 or greater. Dawn gets us back small creatures from our graveyard back to our hand as well. And then finally, in Garruk's Wake, again, we've got a ton of ways to ramp. So yeah, 9 mana is nothing to us after we get set up properly. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. So again, just a way to say our commander is coming through and there is no stopping us at all. But now let's move on to tactic number 8, Supplies. And yeah, we can dig down into our deck to get exactly what we need with some fantastic cards like Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards, loses 2 life. That's well worth it for 2 mana. Then there's Blood Pact. Target player draws 2 cards, loses 2 life at instant speed. So yeah, just 1 mana more. That's okay. Speaking of which, Read the Bones also at 3 mana. Scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. A price I'm willing to pay any day. Again, set yourself up for the cards that you need. Then we've got Secret Rendezvous. Make a friend temporarily. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards for 3 mana. Again, make a friend, make a deal. Say, hey, We each draw some cards. You don't attack me. All right, I won't attack you until later. All right, we'll figure it out. All right. Then we've got your temples under attack. Another friendly-ish card, right? First up, you can choose one. Creatures you control get instruct until turn. That's lovely to protect our team, protect our army. Or hey, you and target opponent each draw 2 cards if you're desperate. Make that deal with that player and say, let's be friends temporarily. Let's draw some cards and yeah. Moving on, Ambition's Cause. Draw 3, lose 3. That's lovely. The exact same thing with Ancient Craving. Draw 3, lose 3 for 4 mana. Yeah, again, 3 life is absolutely nothing. And Frodo actually has life link, so that's a way to gain some life again, especially that double strike, being able to gain a lot of life throughout the game. Can really make up for that. And then there's Demonic Tutor, or Diabolic Tutor, I should say. 4 mana, go get any card out of your library. Whatever card you need for the situation that you're in, go get that. Get in your hand, and there you go. Then there's Siphon Mind. This can hurt opponents while also helping you. Each opponent discards a card. You draw a card for each card, discard this way. So usually that's, hey, discard 3 cards total. I draw 3 cards for 4 mana. Lovely. Finally, there's Promise of Power. 5 mana, draw 5, lose 5. Yeah, again, like I said, 1 mana, 1 life for each card. That is a really, really good deal. But now we talked about every single non-land card in this deck, let's quickly go through the great lands in this deck, and we're going to be running, well, some lands that can help us get Frodo through. Access Tunnel is a fantastic one. Taps for colors or pay 3, tap, target creature power 3 or less. Can't be blocked this turn again. Frodo, very small, does not hit for a lot, but you know what? Small is mighty in this circumstance. We just get Frodo through, we can win the game. Next up, Rogue's Passage. Very similar. 1 more mana. We can make any creature unblockable. Again, you can use this for, deals with your opponents. Like, hey, that giant creature right there, let's get through on someone else. Or, yeah, more likely, hey, Frodo, go take that player out. Thank you. But now as this episode is coming to a close, I would love to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts are on this deck. And also, if you are interested in this commander and in this deck, make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.